Hello my friends. Today I want to share with you an experience that will show you that the only limits that exist are only those that we impose on ourselves. I want to share with you the story of a guy who didn't know how to swim, but he went with two friends, whom he supported in an IRONMAN competition, which means 4 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and a marathon, meaning 42 kilometers of running. This guy, in love with this kind of competition, or better put with this sweet suffering, signed up for swimming lessons after he got home and, to burn all his ships, like in Sun Tzu's The Art of War, signed up for the next year's Ironman and 2 other triathlons a few months later, not yet knowing how to swim. To cut the mystery short, it's my story. I'm the one who always wanted to prove that anything is possible. So, I started swimming lessons in June 2015, after coming back from that competition, and in September I had my first triathlon scheduled. I went twice a week to swimming lessons, as time was short. Once with a swim coach and once alone, trying to somehow repeat what I was learning there. The fear of water was quite advanced, not knowing how to swim until I was 34. By August I had learned to swim enough not to drown, but I had a natural fear of swimming in open water. However, with the help of a good friend, I started to get courage in some of the lakes in Bucharest, and in September I participated in the 2 triathlons, the shortest events, on survival mode in swimming, because I was quite comfortable with cycling and running. Then during the winter I kept going to my swimming lessons, and by April 2016, we did a ride of about 260 kilometers from Orsava to Belgrade. There we ran a half marathon and then came back, so another 260 kilometers. I did that, as I was having good time on the bike, but I had never done distances as long as the Ironman. So now I was also comfortable for the 180 kilometers bike distance, marathon distance no less, but I was still a bit nervous for the 4 kilometers swim. But there was no turning back, the dice had long since been rolled. June 2016 came and I went to the start of this competition, where I was going to start with my best friend this great adventure. We prepared everything and took the start in this great challenge, for me in particular. A great wave of emotions, fears, but as the moral side was perhaps the best, I threw myself into this great soup of people, even without the neoprene suit that gave me more safety, but the water being too warm, neoprene were prohibited. Miraculous somehow, but I survived the 4 kilometers swim just fine, even if I was one of the last out of the water, but I got out. I don't think you can imagine the joy I had in my heart to get on my bike. But I was so dizzy that I went into the first ditch when I first drank the water on the way up from the bike. It was quite a deep ditch, but I was so glad I didn't have a bike flat and continued my crazy adventure with no problem. I was getting back on my feet slowly. I added up mile after mile until the 180 kilometers was done and I was safely completed the bike too. When I started the run, no one could see my tears streaming down my cheek in happiness. It didn't matter that every muscle in my body hurt, some I didn't even know I had, but I was running so joyfully that I didn't know when the 42 kilometers flew by. Guess what? The next year, in 2017, I went back and did the long Ironman race again. This time the swim was with neoprene. I felt much more confident, still no problems on the bike, and on the run I enjoyed every mile. I finished the race with a smile on my face, glad for the sweet suffering, as I called it. Both the hard road to getting to finish the race and the moment you pick up the tape with your name on it. Thank you for following my story. I hope it inspires you and that you are aware that you can do much more than those around you tell other people or than you initially think you can. See you soon.